What had happened was a very organized, well-orchestrated hack occurred that ended up getting a hold of 7,000 Bitcoin. Hi everyone. So I'm in Bali. It is about 12:30 my time. Woke up to the news that Binance had been hacked. This is not the first time it was hacked, but this is the first major hack that has happened since it has acquired this kind of crypto dominance in this market. What had happened was a very organized, well-orchestrated hack occurred that ended up getting a hold of 7,000 Bitcoin. The way that CZ Binance described it is that I believe they infiltrated both aspects of an exchange, that is the user side and Binance's side. They use something like phishing attacks, viruses to get your information. So for those of you, right off the bat, for those of you who use Binance, go ahead and change your passwords, change your 2FA codes. I know that seems like a foolproof method to keep your funds safe on any exchange, but in this case, the hackers got a hold of people's 2FA. So change that, update that for your account if you're using that on Binance. So it's interesting because a lot of times you want to think that the user side is the most vulnerable side, but in this particular hack, they got both sides. So Binance is working to secure the aspects of the exchange that were vulnerable, that made this hack accessible to the hackers. So actually, you will not be able to deposit or withdraw your coins from Binance for about a week or so. So it might be longer than a week, but right now Binance is saying a week. So you will not be able to withdraw or deposit, but you will be able to trade, although the trading might be suspended for a few hours here and there while they make their system-wide upgrades. So if you want to get more up-to-date information on this specific hack, you can check out the Binance website, the news section. They have a blog post about this hack. Also, CZ, the CEO of Binance, went ahead and did a live AMA. You can find that link on their Twitter account. But in that AMA, they describe how many different accounts were infiltrated during this hack. They're not sure how many are still vulnerable because these hackers were very smart. They didn't just withdraw right away when they gained access. They waited, they were smart, and they did one big transaction, and that's how they got away with 7,000 Bitcoin. So at this point, your account, if it seems normal, it may not be, so just be aware of that. I'm gonna get into some things about this hack and the ways that Binance is addressing it in a bit. It's gonna get negative, I'm not gonna lie. For those of you who watched my videos before about Binance, you shouldn't be surprised. But I do wanna say one thing, they are being very transparent, they are being very timely in the way that they are making this information known to people. He had this live AMA scheduled ahead of time before they knew about the hack, and he went ahead and went with it anyway, so it's not like he's avoiding the public eye or anything. So I do want to say there is a stark contrast between the drama that happened with Bitfinex and how Binance is handling this. So there is something to be said about their transparency and open communications in that way. But now I watched the live AMA with CZ, which happened about an hour ago, and there's talk now that they actually have the ability to roll back the Bitcoin blockchain in order to gain back these funds. Now, for those of you who are familiar with rolling back blockchains, you might think right off the bat Ethereum and the DAO and how that happened and how Ether Classic is in existence. I will link a video that I spoke about that incident if you're not familiar. So basically, they have the option to roll back the blockchain to the point where the hackers took the Bitcoin and essentially gain access to that Bitcoin back, just in an effort of getting the Bitcoins out of the hackers' hands. Now they're able to do this because the 7,000 Bitcoin are worth more than what the miners actually made from the blocks that have happened since then. So it's kind of like bribing the miners to roll back the blockchain. Now here's my major issue with this, is that Bitcoin is a decentralized network that has never ceased to run since its inception for over 10 years. And it is the most reputable because it has never been rolled back. It is immutable in that way, and that is a core aspect to Bitcoin that brings its value. My issue is that a centralized exchange, an exchange that is designed in a way that makes it susceptible to hackers, is contemplating destroying the complete credibility of the most steadfast cryptocurrency that we have in this existence of cryptocurrencies, all for the sake of their reputation or of getting their funds back. You're running a centralized exchange. It should be a given you're going to get hacked. Learn from the mistakes, learn from how these hackers got into your exchange, and change what you need to change, which is what they're doing. But it just bothered me because on his live AMA, he said they were considering it with, seriously, like they're not taking this lightly, but it should be a no-brainer. You do not touch the credibility of Bitcoin to help your own situation. Being a centralized exchange, clean up your own mess. That's what I'm saying here. If CZ Binance watches this video, then you know how I feel about that. I know I'm not alone in this. So again, going back to my kind of thoughts about Binance and how it is dominating the crypto exchange space. It is a very popular exchange, and it's only gaining more popularity, which will only make it a bigger target for hackers. And now that they're flexing this muscle of power that they have, where they can affect the actual Bitcoin network, and they're thinking about it, they're flirting with the idea, it's something to pay very close attention to in the future. If they gain more power, who knows what they're going to want to do with that. And they might not always be taking the community's sentiment into their own hands. So a lot of warnings to be had here. Centralized exchanges, it will get hacked. Rolling back the Bitcoin blockchain, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't support that. So that is a quick update here for what's happening with Binance. Please keep an eye on it as it will be developing, especially how they choose to address the Bitcoin loss. I don't think I mentioned this. They have, another pro for Binance. They had some foresight. Back in July of 2018, they started up a SAFU, which is the safe asset funds for users. Something they take 10% of their trading fees, put it into a separate cold storage wallet for situations like this. So the 7,000 Bitcoin that were lost, they've already recovered it. So if your account was actually infiltrated and affected by this, you didn't lose any money. Which also begs the question, why are they going to roll back the Bitcoin blockchain if they've already covered the losses? You know what I mean? So a lot of red flags, I think, to be said in that particular situation. So I will be keeping my eye on it, and I suggest you do the same. In the meantime, I will be working on a video about my own crypto portfolio to be sharing with all of my new patrons. Thank you so much, you guys, for your support. It's amazing. So that video will be coming out today or tomorrow. I'm going to do some traveling. Probably going to have a little travel blog out for you guys. Going to be checking out Singapore. So keep an eye out for that stuff on my Patreon account. And thanks again. I'll see you guys soon.